All right, and the next one is from Citizen Kate and Will. I don't know if I've watched any of these on Salty Mike 2 yet, but this one is titled "How Smuggling Drugs Could Work." Gameplay suggestion. So this is a little bit different from her typical videos. So usually it's like sharing her experiences in the game, and it's more of like an RP experience rather than a I don't know, gameplay critique.
So a few months back, we had a team at Skunkworks trying to break into Kleischer Rehabilitation Centre, kind of a reverse run at the escape route. We never actually made it all the way in, but we had a ton of fun doing it and trying to solve the problem of climbing different heights in Star Citizen. But an idea started to take hold during this that I think could make a cool and interesting addition to the game, and I'd like to share this idea with you today. Right now, smuggling drugs in Star Citizen is kind of impossible outside of Jumptown. You can get hold of a lot of drugs, either buying them from a criminal outpost like Necropolis or Microtech, or stealing them from a drug lab during a bunker mission. But when it comes to selling them for a profit, the demand is always extremely low. Even Grimhex only buys a couple of dozen units at a time. And I kind of both get this, and I'm also kind of glad this isn't a finalized loop for smuggling, because just come with me for a moment and let's talk about an idea of actual physical smuggling. So the exterior of the prison has these two giant openings dug into the ground, almost like ventilation tubes, and in one of them, down some rickety old stairs.
This is a little bit of a Pepe laugh moment, because she doesn't know, because it was a little bit before her time possibly, that there actually was smuggling into the prison prior, and obviously it was like a huge exploit, but they closed that loop and now it no longer is a thing, I don't believe. So yeah, I was running a mining org, Cutlet was a pirate org, and I would mine Hadanite to give to Cutlet to turn those that Hadanite into merits, so him and his pirate org could easily get out of prison. And it was probably one of the only times that I played Star Citizen that it felt like I was playing an MMO, that I felt like I had a purpose. It was fantastic. So I'm sure she got vibes of that where it could exist. And the sad thing is it did, and it no longer does.
Is the exit point for escaping prisoners, a small vent above a sealed door. Inside this small vent is a series of really remarkable and highly detailed tunnels. A very cool place to be when you are not racing the clock to avoid oxygen depletion as an escaping prisoner. When we were trying to get into prison this way, we found a bunch of different approaches to get into that first vent, from stacking boxes to using part of a ship. It was a little challenging but very fun, and felt like you were doing something you were not supposed to be doing, but in a good way. Once inside, we faced an even bigger obstacle, so we needed a lot more boxes. And for the most part, this was before the new inventory system, so we had to find a source of box-like objects that we could grab hundreds of. Drugs were the answer here, stealing them from a bunker mission, and with a lot of teamwork moving them through the vent and into the tunnels.
This is actually pretty cool.
And this got us thinking. Prisons have a black market, and here we were literally smuggling drugs into the prison. All you'd need to make this a game loop is a little door to a maintenance room or something down here in these tunnels, and some corrupt repair guy or something, the prison's black market contact, who will buy the drugs you get into the room. It would be very different and much more hands-on than going to a trade terminal. And this could create a smuggling loop that has challenges to it, is fun and immersive, and ripe for PvP. Law-abiding citizens of the verse could maybe take contracts to stop these smuggling operations. Imagine gangs of smugglers, ships packed with drugs, taking down the Aberdeen Comrade while trying to avoid being scanned by the cops, which almost happened to our taxi by the way. Getting down into the prison vents to move all of the product inside, while other groups of bounty hunters patrol and sentry the area, waiting for criminals to show up and stop them flooding the prison with drugs. This would admittedly make things a bit different for escaping prisoners, I grant you, and there's some collision geometry problems we found on the floor right outside the first vent to get in. But for me at least, this could open up a whole new and constantly occurring opportunity for interesting gameplay. It could even maybe be implemented at other locations.
That an edit?
Lawville, in my mind, would be interesting.
Where did
for
she
this.
teleport?
You need some armistice zone changes, which are restrictive on the ground. It is my opinion that outside of the walls of this city, these giant walls to keep law and order inside, outside of the gates, it should be lawless. There are really cool semi-urbanized zones near and between the islands of city that would make excellent combat locations in and of themselves, not to mention the opportunity to engage in firefights with security at the gates, try to free some Hurston workers, but I digress. You free up the ground area around Lawville for combat and fit some of these vents or other makeshift holes in the Lawville perimeter, and you could have smuggling runs going on there too.
Okay, I was like, where is she going with this?
It could even play into a smuggling guns for the Hurston workers resistance or something narrative. I'm letting the Skunkworks rivalry with Hurston dynamics play into the narrative a bit here, I know, but still, it would be an interesting and dynamic gameplay addition, I think. I'm sure there are considerations that I have not thought of and problems that this may cause, and if you can think of any, please do share them in the comments below. And thanks for watching as always, guys. And as always, I want to send out a very special thank you to all of our amazing patrons.
Hey,
patrons! Right now. And in this video, I would especially like to thank Rumline and CW, who both recently became supporters of the channel over on Patreon. Thank you both for your amazing support. Patrons like you are what make these videos possible, and I am very grateful for all
dies really bad is
the help we get.
Saying.
Thank you guys. If you are thinking of starting Star Citizen, you can use the referral code in the description below to gain an extra 5,000 credits when signing up for a new account.
Oh look, Sli-Fi. I know Sli-Fi. I was looking for one, at least one person that we know. And then T-Love. Yeah, there's some people there. Cool, cool. But yeah, so she took the smuggling thing to a level that I think is interesting for sure, especially when she talked about Hurston. And you would think miserable people would probably want drugs to you know, get through the day at Hurston and having to work through that that hellish experience. And yeah, having a little hidden location to drop off points like that would be way better than selling them to like the, what is it, the salvage yard, right? So yeah, I think taking landing zones and applying those areas would be really neat and cool. So yeah, I think Kate opened my eyes a little bit more than normal, than I have, at least with smuggling. So that's kind of cool. So thank you, Kate. That was nice. That was nice. I'm glad I watched that video.